In the NASCAR Xfinity Series over 40 years in the sport, there have been many numbers come and go. On any given weekend, you will see 36 to 38 unique numbers on the track, and each of those numbers has a story to tell. Hi, I'm your host Matt, and this is NASCAR Number History presented by Dogleg Media. In this series, we look to tell the stories of each of those numbers. Who first ran the number, who first won in the number, the driver who visited victory lane the most, and every other driver to grab a trophy in the number. We also mention suggestions provided by you, the viewer. We go in numerical order, and today we look at numbers 10 through 19. If you missed numbers 0 through 9, the Xfinity Series number history playlist will be linked below. Also, if you haven't seen the Cup Series number history, that playlist will be linked below as well. Be sure to check it out after this one. But with that out of the way, let's dive into some more Xfinity Series number history. And we start this one out with the 10. The 10 has 20 total wins with 6 different drivers. It's competed in 856 total races with a 2.3 win percentage. The first to drive the number 10 in the Xfinity Series would be Mark Gibson. Mark would finish 28th when the number's first start at Charlotte in 1982. While Gibson would only make 7 career Xfinity Series starts and only 2 with the 10, he would run primarily in the ARCA Series where he would collect 2 wins in his time there. And the first to take the 10 to victory lane would be Ernie Irvan. Irvan would win at Rockingham in 1991 in his cell phone Chevrolet. This would be Ernie's only Xfinity Series win with the number 10, and would be a 3-time winner overall in the series. And that brings us to the driver with the most wins. The driver with the most wins would also win a championship with the number. Jeff Green would win 10 times in the PPC Racing 10 ride, and would cruise to the 2000 Series title on the back of 6 of those wins. He would win 4 more times with the 10 in 2001, where he would finish second in the points. And then we move on to other winners. First up is Scott Riggs. Riggs has the second most wins in the number, where he would win 4 times between 2002 and 2003 for PPC Racing. And then there's Kyle Larson. Larson would grab his lone win with the 10 in 2023 at Darlington. This was a wild finish between him and series regular John Hunter Nemechek. I was in attendance for this one, and man, it did not disappoint. And then there's Jeb Burton. Burton would get his first career Xfinity Series win in the 10 for Colleague Racing. This win would come in 2021 at Talladega. Both of Jeb's Xfinity Series wins have come at Dega. The kid has a knack for the place, that's for sure. And then on to the last to win. The last to win in the 10 would be AJ Allmendinger. One of the many different drivers in the seat this year, he would win at Nashville in 2023. A lot of speculation is swirling regarding AJ's future in the sport. Where do you think he ends up? And then on to honorable mentions. FedEx, Fallboy, Alexander, and Dillon all mentioned Kyle Busch. Man, we are getting to see Rowdy in some different rides since his breakup with Gibbs and Toyota. This is just another example of that. Great mention. And then JK Speed, High Octane Cards, and Menard Bros all suggested John Andretti. This is a cool mention, as Andretti would attempt to run in the Xfinity Series after already having a Cup career. He would finish runner-up to Danny O'Quinn for the Rookie of the Year award in 2006. He would only pilot the PPC 10 machine for 1 season. And then on to the current driver. The current driver of the 10 is Daniel Hemrick. He would pivot from his normal number, the 11, to the 10 for the Xfinity Series playoffs. With Hemrick going to Cup next season, who fills the vacant 11 seat? I would assume the 10 will stay its typical celebrity seat for trophy hunting. And that brings us to the 11. And this one will be a quick one, as the driver to first pilot the number would also be the first to win and the winningest driver. Buckle up, this is the 11. The 11 has 37 total wins with 5 different drivers. It's competed in 1,001 total races with a 3.7 win percentage. And so yeah, as we discussed before, one man would really dominate with the 11. Jack Ingram would win 30 of the number's 37 total victories. He would bring the 11 to the series opening race at Daytona in 1982, and 6 races later, he would find victory lane for the first time at Hickory. He would win the very first ever Xfinity Series championship in 1982, winning 7 of the 29 races on the season. He would then win a second championship as well in 1985. Ingram was a team owner for all of this success and was inducted into the NASCAR Hall of Fame in 2014. And then we move to other winners. And we start our others winners list with Bill Elliott. $1 Million Bill would win 1 time in the 11, in 1993 for Charles Hardy Racing at Watkins Glen. And then there's Elliott Sadler. Sadler would win once in the 11, in 2014 at Talladega for Joe Gibbs Racing. And finally, before we get to our last to win, we have Paul Menard. Menard would win at the Milwaukee Mile in 2006 for Dale Earnhardt Incorporated. And that brings us to the last to win. Justin Haley is the last to win, and he's a 4-time winner in the 11. He would run it full time from 2019 until 2021. Justin would have a best points finish of 3rd in 2020, where he would win 3 races. The last win for the number came at Daytona in 2021. And then on to honorable mentions. Marcus, Menard Bros, and Obungus mentioned Blake Cook. He would run 2 full-time seasons in the Kaulig 11 machine in 2016 and 2017. He would make the playoffs in both seasons. And a weird stat is he would make the playoffs both years, but never recorded a single top 5. I guess consistency is key here. And then Titan, Scott, Cole Custer, Skytay, and Obungus mentioned Ryan Truex. He would run 1 full season in the 11 for Kaulig in 2018. He would make the playoffs and would finish 12th in the points. Truex would record 1 top 5 and 11 top 10s that season. And then on to the current driver. This seat was primarily Daniel Hemricks before switching to the 10 for the Xfinity Series playoffs. Derek Kraus has taken the seat to fill in and will more than likely finish the season out in it. And we asked this before, but could Kraus take the seat full time next year with Hemrick going back to Cup? Let me know down below. And much like the 11, the driver to first pilot the 12 would also be the winningest driver and the first to win in it. So let's do this all over again, just with different names. Here is the 12. The 12 has 25 total wins with 8 different drivers. It's competed in 629 total races with a 4% win percentage. And so yeah, the first to drive the 12 would also be the one to make it a winner and find the most trophies with it. Tommy Ellis would first take the 12 to the track in the series opening race at Daytona in 1982. It would take Ellis 21 races to find victory lane, winning at Hampton, Virginia that season. Ellis would win a total of 14 times in the 12 from 1982 until 1986. And he would win a series championship, but not in the 12. Who can tell me what number Ellis would win his lone title with? And now we move to other winners. We start this one off with Joey Logano. The 2-time Cup Series champion would win 4 races in the 12. Joey has found a lot of success in the Xfinity Series, and he will be recognized for a couple other numbers he would win in later on. And then there's Sam Hornish Jr. He would win twice in the 12, both coming for Penske Racing. He would win at Phoenix and Las Vegas. And now we have a few one-time winners, starting with Bobby Allison. We heard his name all over the Cup Series number history, and here he is again. He would win the season opening race at Daytona in 1988 driving a self-owned 12 ride. And then there's Jimmy Spencer. Spencer would grab his lone win in 1998 at Las Vegas. This was also a self-owned car driving for Spencer Motor Ventures. And next up is Jeff Burton. He would win at Martinsville in 1990 for his first career win, driving for the legend Sam Ard. And finally there's Justin Allgaier. He would get his first career win in the 12 as well, at Bristol in 2010 for Penske. His most recent win at the time of this recording also came at Bristol. And now we get to the most recent winner. Ryan Blaney would be the last to take the 12 to victory lane, doing so in 2017 at Charlotte. This is Ryan's only win in the 12 in the Xfinity Series. And then on to honorable mentions. Titan, Hot Wheels, Marcus, Custer, AV Geek, Menard, and Impact all suggested Kerry Earnhardt. I had a diecast of this Supercuts car, and man, it was a cool ride. I wish Kerry had stuck around more, but this is a cool mention nonetheless. And only one person mentioned this one, but man, I never knew this guy drove, so it's a great mention. Obungus mentioned Paul Wolfe, the longtime crew chief for Brad Keselowski and most recently Joey Logano, would run 3 races in the Fitz Bradshaw Racing 12 car. I always knew Wolfe as one of the best crew chiefs in the garage, winning 2 Cup Series championships and an Xfinity Series title as well. This is a great mention. And then we move to the last to drive. And the tombstones are here again. The last time this one saw the track would be in 2020 at Phoenix with Brad Keselowski as the driver. I really hope Penske brings their Xfinity Series program back. They did some serious damage. And we've hit our first winless number of the Xfinity Series number history, and this isn't a surprise. This number only has 1 Cup win, so it's not a shocker. The number has only ever led 3 laps. Ouch. Here is the 13. The 13 has competed in 262 total races. It's seen one top 5. Its average start position is 32.9 and its average finish is 31st. The first to drive the 13 would be Frank Dickerson. He would take it to Dover in 1984. This shouldn't come as a surprise, but I couldn't find a picture of the guy. And much like the Cup Series number history, if there's never been a winner, we need to at least figure out what the best finish for the number was. This one came close to victory, with Timmy Hill in 2022 at Daytona. He would come up a painful second place in that one. So close to an Xfinity Series number Gami. Oh well. And then on to honorable mentions. Titan and Obungus mentioned Ted Christopher. For a number with not a lot to brag about, Christopher leads all drivers in top 10s with the number, with a whopping 2. Ted is a modified legend. Winning the 2008 Whelen Modified Championship, he has collected 48 total victories there, so this is a great mention. And there isn't a current driver of the 13 either, which honestly isn't a major surprise. The last time the number saw the track would be at Phoenix in 2022 with Dawson Cram. Do you think it's the superstition of the number 13 that keeps teams from running it? And back to a winning number. And this time, the first to drive doesn't carry basically all the other accolades, but a familiar name will resurface. Here is the 14. The 14 has 8 total wins with 3 different drivers. It's competed in 741 total races with a 1.1 win percentage. And the first to drive the 14 would be Ronnie Silver. He would take the number to Martinsville in 1982 for the number's first appearance. Silver would actually win twice in the number, but funny enough, he wouldn't be the first to win in the number. He would, however, be the team owner for the first winner ever. And the driver to first take the 14 to victory lane is a familiar name. The king of the 11, Jack Ingram, would be the first to win in the number. He would take the checkered flag at Hampton in 1984. And previously mentioned Ronnie Silver would be the car owner for the win. And now on to the driver with the most wins. Perry Labonte would win 5 times in a self-owned car from 1992 until 1995. 4 of those 5 wins would come in the 1994 season. Texas Terry is also the last to win in the 14, with his win at Watkins Glen in 1995 being the last time the number would go to victory lane, so this one has been a while. And then on to honorable mentions. Hot Wheels, Marcus, Young Money, Fall Boy, AV Geek, Oitzman, Obungus, Dylan, and Jordan all mentioned Eric McClure. McClure spent 3 seasons in the TriStar 14 from 2011 until 2014. While he would only record 1 top 10, an 8th place finish at Daytona in 2013, he did have some incredible paint schemes. Rest in peace, Eric. Thanks for being a wheelman for all of us. And then Hot Wheels, Jordan, and Lolo all mentioned Patty Moyes. A much welcomed female presence in the sport, she would pilot the 14 for 3 seasons from 1996 until 1998. Patty would record a top 10 in the number, coming at Bristol in 1998. Great mention. And there isn't a current driver of the 14 either. The last time it saw the track would be in 2022 with Justin Haley at Daytona. The last full-time driver would be JJ Yaley in 2017. It's been nearly 30 years since the 14 has been to victory lane. When will this drought end? And well, we have another similar situation to the 11 and 12. The driver to first pilot the 15 would also be the first to win and is tied for the most win. Let's get into the number 15. The 15 has 10 total wins with 3 different drivers. It's competed in 542 total races with a 1.8 win percentage. The first race for the 15 would also be the first win. This is a pretty special one for a couple of reasons. Dale Earnhardt would be the first to drive and win in the 15. He would win the very first Xfinity Series race ever, winning the 1982 Daytona season opener. He would run the 15 for Robert Gee, as it was his current Cup Series number with Bud Moore Engineering. And Dale is also tied for the most wins in the 15, with 4 total wins. He would accumulate these wins from 1982 until 1983. And the other driver tied with Earnhardt in number of wins is Jeff Bodine. He would win all 4 driving for Hendrick Motorsports. Jeff is also the last to win in the 15, with the number's last win coming in 1989 at Darlington. This one has had an even longer drought than the 14, which is wild. The only other winner in the numbers history would be Tim Richmond. He would make 5 starts in the Hendrick 15 between 1985 and 1986, winning both races at Charlotte. Richmond would only make 10 Xfinity Series starts total, and these 2 wins in the 15 would be the only wins of his career. And then we move to honorable mentions. Hot Wheels, Obungus, and Menard Bros all mention Ken Schrader. Kenny would make select starts in the 15 from 1989 until 1992, and then again from 1998 until 1999. He would come close to victory in 1991 with the number at Charlotte, where he would finish second. And there isn't a current driver of the 15 either. Man, a lot of tombstones for this one already. The last to drive the 15 would be Bailey Curry in 2021 at Phoenix. The last full-time driver of it would be Timmy Hill back in 2011. This one hasn't seen victory lane in over 30 years. Who brings it back? Now we move on to the 16. This one has quite a few winners, so that's nice. Here's the 16. The 16 has 22 total wins with 7 different drivers. It's competed in 735 total races with a 3% win percentage. The first to drive the 16 would be Mark Beard, the founder of Beard Motorsports. He would only make 2 Xfinity Series starts as a driver, and he was the first to pilot the 16, running it at Daytona in 1982. This was a great piece of info to learn. Rest in peace, Mark. And the first to win in the 16 would be Greg Biffle. The guy who made it his number in the Cup Series would be the first to take it to victory lane in the Xfinity Series. He would win at Fontana in 2006 for the number's first win, and would go on to win a total of 3 times, all coming for Roush. And then we move on to the driver with the most wins. The winningest driver here comes as no surprise. It's AJ Allmendinger. He would win 12 times in the 16, over half of the number's total wins. He would run it from 2020 until 2022, and would make the Final Four in 2021, finishing 4th. He could end up back in the Xfinity Series full time. Only time will tell. And now we get to our other winners, starting with Matt Kenseth. Kenseth would collect 2 wins in the 16, both for Roush, winning at Darlington in 2009 and Charlotte in 2011. And then you have Ryan Reed. Reed also would win 2 times in the Roush 16. These would be the only 2 wins of his career, and both would come at Daytona to start the season. He would win the 2015 and 2017 season opening races, with the 2015 win being the race where Kyle Busch would break his leg. Next is the Watermelon Man, Ross Chastain. He would grab 1 win in the Kaulig 16, coming at Daytona in 2019. This is still his only start in the number, which is pretty crazy. And then finally there's Trevor Bayne. He would get his first career Xfinity Series win in 2011 at Texas, driving for Roush. And then on to honorable mentions. Obungus, Menard, Impact, and Skytay all mention Chad Chafin. He would make select starts in the Day Enterprises 16 from 1993 until 2005. While he never won, he did have a pretty cool paint scheme on occasion. And that brings us to the current driver. Chandler Smith is in his first full-time season in the Xfinity Series and has shown promise in this time. Coming from Kyle Busch Motorsports, he would switch to Chevy with Busch and would join Kaulig Racing. He is the most recent to win in the 16 as well, with his first career win at Richmond in his rookie season. I like Chandler a lot. How many more wins do you see him grabbing in this number? And welcome to the 17. This one has a lot of wins with not a lot of winners. The 17 has 39 total wins with only 4 different drivers. It's competed in 540 total races with a 7.2 win percentage. The first to drive the 17 in the Xfinity Series would be Bosco Lowe. He would take it to Bristol in 1982. Lowe would spend most of his career in the Xfinity Series, making 133 starts. He would record 36 top 10s, but never found victory lane. And the first to win in the 17 is a legendary name. Darrell Waltrip would make the 17 a winner, winning in the series' first season at Charlotte. Overall, Waltrip was a 13-time winner in the number, second only to our winningest driver. And that winningest driver would be Matt Kenseth. Yeah, he was dominant in the 17 in the Cup Series and Xfinity Series. He would win 24 total times in the number from 1997 until 2009. He would start out running the 17 for Riser Enterprises. In fact, 17 of his 24 wins would come with them. While Kenseth never won an Xfinity Series title, he would finish second in 1998. Kenseth is also the last driver to win in the 17, with the number's last trip to victory lane coming in 2008 at Atlanta. And now we move on to other winners, and there are only a couple of them, starting with Terry Labonte. Texas Terry would win once in the 17 for Darrell Waltrip Motorsports, coming at Charlotte in 1985. And fun fact about this win, it was Terry Labonte's first ever Xfinity Series start and his only start in the 17. And then we have Michael Waltrip. He would make 2 starts in his brother's 17 machine in 1988 and would find victory lane in his second, coming at Dover. And then we move to honorable mentions. Menard and Jordan mentioned Kyle Larson. Man, he would have broke the drought at Sonoma, but a late issue would hand the win to Almirola. It is unfortunate, as he would dominate the day, but it certainly made things interesting in the late going. And then Marcus, Oitzman, Obungus, and Skytay all mentioned Tanner Berryhill. Berryhill would attempt to run the full 2014 season with Vision Racing in the 17. They would DNQ for 3 events and would switch manufacturers with 4 races left in the season, from Dodge to Toyota. And then we move to the current driver. And while there isn't a full-time driver of the 17, Hendrick Motorsports would come back to the Xfinity Series with this one, and all 4 of their drivers would share time in the seat. It has come close to victory on multiple occasions in 2023 alone, so look for the drought to end soon. And now we move to the penultimate number of this one. And man, one driver has more wins in this number than any other driver in Xfinity Series history. I think we all know who we're talking about. Here is the 18. The 18 has 76 total wins with 9 different drivers. It's competed in 795 total races with a 9.5 win percentage. The first to drive the 18 in the Xfinity Series would be Roy McGraw. He would run it in the first ever Xfinity Series race at Daytona in 1982. I unfortunately have no pictures for Mr. McGraw. Come on, man. And here we are. The driver to get the first ever win for the 18 is also the winningest, and it's not even close. Kyle Busch would dominate the Xfinity Series. They even coined a term for his dominance, bushwhacking. He would win the number's first race in 2008 at Texas, and what ensued after was pure madness. He would win a total of 58 times in the number, and would win the 2009 Series Championship as well. That 2009 season was insane. In a 35 race season, he would win 9 times and would record 25 top 5 finishes. He would also go on a 10 race stretch of finishing either first or second. He would have an average finish of 6.6 on the season. Rowdy has 102 total wins in the Xfinity Series, so be prepared to hear his name a lot more. And now we get to a long list of other winners, so let's start this one off with Joey Logano. Logano would win 7 times in the 18, all of which came in 2012. He would only make 13 starts in the number that season, and he would win over half of them. Insanity. And next is Denny Hamlin. Hamlin is a 4-time winner in the number for Joe Gibbs, and we will hear his name again very soon. And then there's Matt Kenseth. We have heard his name quite a bit as well. He would win 2 times in the Gibbs 18 machine. And now we move to 1-time winners, starting with Sam Hornish Jr. He would grab his lone win in 2016 at Iowa, and Christopher Bell would also grab a lone win. His win would come at Kansas in 2017 in just his 3rd Xfinity Series start. And here's a cool one, Ryan Preece would win at Bristol in 2018, his most recent Xfinity Series win. And finally there's the magical win of Daniel Hemrick. He would win at Phoenix in 2021 to win the Xfinity Series championship. This is still his only NASCAR win, but hey, it came on the biggest stage, and the man earned it, no doubt about that. And then we move to honorable mentions. Menard Bros, Impact, and Jordan all mentioned Coy Gibbs. This is a great mention. Coy is the son of Joe Gibbs, and he would run the full 2003 season in the number. He would record 2 top 10s in this season. Coy's story is a sad one, as he would pass away in his sleep the night that his son Ty would win the 2022 Xfinity Series championship. Rest in peace, Coy. And that brings us to the current driver of the 18. Sammy Smith is in his first full-time Xfinity season, much like the other Smith, Chandler. Sammy has put together a solid rookie campaign, winning his first career race at Phoenix, the most recent win for the number as well. I like Sammy, and I think he has a ton of potential. Watch out for him to continue this success. And we have arrived at the final number for this one. Man, The 10 number episodes definitely take a lot out of me, but there is so much information to gain. Let's finish this one up with the 19. The 19 has 12 total wins with 6 different drivers. It's competed in 663 total races with a 1.8 win percentage. The first to drive the 19 in the Xfinity Series would be Daryl Sage. He would also run it in the first Xfinity Series race at Daytona in 1982. He would only make 5 total starts in the series, so no surprise, there's no pictures of the guy. And the driver to make the 19 a winner would be Mike Skinner. He would get the numbers first and his only victory in 1999 at Atlanta, driving for Team Yellow Racing. This would be the team's only win as well. And now we move to the driver with the most wins, and this is kind of surprising to me for some reason. Brandon Jones leads all drivers of the 19 with 5 total wins. He would pilot the 19 for Joe Gibbs Racing from 2018 until 2022. And he should have 6 wins in the number. And if you don't know what I mean, just watch the end of the 2022 Fall Martinsville race. That's all I gotta say. And now we move on to other winners in the 19, and there is only one other driver with multiple wins. It's Daniel Suarez, who would win 3 times in the 19. All 3 wins would come in 2016, and he would cap the season off with a win at Homestead, becoming the first non-American to win a Touring Series championship. In my opinion, Daniel was rushed to the Cup Series, as Carl Edwards would suddenly retire after the 2016 season and Gibbs would move Suarez to that ride. The next to win in the 19 would be Ryan Truex. The brother of Martin, he would grab his first NASCAR win at Dover in 2023. This is special, as his brother Martin would win the Cup Series race at Dover that same weekend, making for a Truex sweep. And finally there's Ty Gibbs. He would win in the He Gets Us 19 at the Indy Road Course in 2023. He would dominate the day, and did some wild burnout antics after the win. Man, crazy kids these days. And now on to the last to win. Denny Hamlin will win at Darlington in 2023 and is the most recent winner in the 19. There have been 3 different winners in the 19 already this season, so this stat could become old very quick. And then on to honorable mentions. Marcus, Oitzman, Obungus, and Dylan all mention Matt Tifft. I love this mention, as I had the opportunity to work with Matt at Darlington this year for the Daily Downforce collaboration. He would run the entire 2017 season in the number for Joe Gibbs, and would make it to the round of 8 in the playoffs. And then Hot Wheels, Obungus, Menard, and Dylan all mention Trevor Bayne. Man, he was so close to adding his name to the winners list at Daytona in 2023. They had a great car and were caught up in a silly wreck at the end. I think if he gets more shots in this ride, he can certainly find victory lane. And then we move to the current driver. And the current driver of the 19 is a mixed bag. We mentioned that Ryan Truex, Denny Hamlin, and Ty Gibbs have all won in it this season. If it counts for anything, Trevor Bayne was the most recent to run it at Bristol in 2023. I wonder if they will have a dedicated driver for this number again, or if it will be the celebrity ride moving forward. And that'll do it for numbers 10 through 19. Man, this was a marathon. I don't know what I was thinking making this one episode. As always, I'm prone to forgetting drivers. Let me know who I may have missed for this one down below. We will be back next time for numbers 20 through 24, and man, there will be some big numbers for this one. If you liked the video, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. It helps a ton and I definitely appreciate it. And did you know that 74% of my viewers aren't subscribed, but they are returning viewers? If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, what are you waiting for? I also want to thank some incredible people for their contributions for this video. Thanks Valvac for helping source some of the info, and as always, thanks to the Dogleg team for all your hard work. Dice, Darksea, and the Gamer, y'all are incredible. Be sure to check the community tab of the channel. We do cool little giveaways like autographed merchandise and diecast, as well as updates and polls for the channel. You definitely don't want to miss it. And we also have a Discord server. Find the invite in the About section of the channel or in the description below, and come join us over there for even more fun and learning. We're closing in on 150 members, and we have great conversations every single day. You don't want to miss this. But that'll do it for us here at Dogleg Media. I'm Matt, your host, and you've been watching NASCAR Number History. I'll see you next time.